Before I really get into this, I have to address the elephant in the room. Okay? Scoob, you did my boy Matthew Lillard dirty, okay? That, amongst other things, but mostly that, had me going into this movie with some pretty low expectations. But I will say that perhaps it was those low expectations that ended up making me kind of enjoy this movie. I'll start it off with a good thing, because there are good things about this movie, but there are quite a handful of things that I have to say that maybe aren't so positive about it. In the trailers or ads or whatever you might have seen for Scoob, you may have seen clips of a young Scooby and Shaggy and Fred and Velma and Daphne. Now, you might have expected, as I did, that this would be a quick throwaway flashback scene, right? I really appreciated how a fair chunk of this movie, not all half of it, but an appropriate amount of this movie was actually dedicated to that. It wasn't some throwaway scene. It was like a fleshed out thing and took up a good chunk of the movie at its beginning. It worked. It set up the movie well, and I appreciated that. I have a list here because I surprisingly have a lot to say about Scoob. First off, the animation. At times, I liked it. At other times, not so much. Sometimes, in a still shot, like a shot where the whole gang's sitting there and the camera's just focused on them, the camera would kind of float around the way a movie that is shot handheld style would, like as if someone was holding it. It was uncomfortable to watch, and I don't know why they added this strange effect. It was barely noticeable at first, but something just felt off. And I looked at the corners, and I could see, they're doing this like it's their movie. And it wasn't all the time, it was just sometimes. But in these moments, on top of that, it felt like the animation suddenly got worse. It just seemed like it dropped in quality all of a sudden. The animation quality throughout this movie felt really inconsistent in this way. Like, it would never let me decide if it was good or not, or if I liked it or not, because it kept changing. Like, there were times where I'm like, okay, yeah, this movie looks good. I like the animation. It looks pretty good. I mean, it's a little like the background. It's not like the best, right? It's a little bland, a little flat, but it's pretty good. But then another time, it would seem like a Nickelodeon Disney Channel animated show for little kids, like just bad. Now, another big thing about Scoob that people were talking about when the first trailer dropped, I remember, was the voice actors. When they were kids, it was fine, but once we got past that point, the voice acting was jarring. And let me say that this is not just because they don't sound the way these characters always have, either. I mean, it is a part of it. See, Scooby, he sounds the same way he always has. In every cartoon, in every movie, in everything ever. Which is very animated and, characterful. And next to Scooby, just about everyone in this movie sounds off. Because they're all just really talking in their normal voices, and which isn't only weird because they're not being animated, but it doesn't fit the characters. Unexpectedly, though, I think halfway or just before halfway in the movie, Zac Efron ended up pulling it off pretty well. He actually was giving a bit of performance. He wasn't just talking. He wasn't just talking the way he talks as Zac Efron. So he was second best next to Scooby. I also have to mention I hate how in so many kids movies these days you just have to expect the hip references and songs like All I Do Is Win by or featuring DJ Khaled. Way too late on that one, by the way, guys. To pander to the youth, I guess. But expecting it doesn't make it less worse. Those moments are just awful. It's just like when a character dabs in Scooby-Doo, the movie. It's like, ew, gross. Don't do that. And while on the topic of, this movie trying to be hip and modern and attract the youth. The whole superhero angle really turned me off this movie during its marketing run. It really made me, not want to watch it. And there certainly are a few superhero movie / action moments in this movie. But I gotta say, I thought this, superhero stuff was going to be way worse than it was. But contrasting all this pandering, modern, hip, whatever stuff is actually a lot of references and staple moments of the source material that is really cool to see if you've ever liked any of the older Scooby-Doo stuff. That tells you the people behind this movie really did have a lot of love for the source material for Scooby-Doo. So, oh my god. That's about how I feel about it. Those are the main things I remember about the movie. Those are the things I think are worth talking about. Scoob, went in with low expectations. I was entertained. I enjoyed myself watching it. I've been enjoying watching kids' movies lately. They make me feel innocent and lighter, less worrisome and stressed and anxious. This is a pretty good kids' movie, and it is a kids' movie. Keep that in mind. I mean, that doesn't just give it a pass to be bad, but it really isn't bad. I'd say for a kids' movie, it's pretty good. And it reminded me of that Hotel Transylvania movie in a good way. I remember that being good or enjoyable or whatever. So I give Scoob 2.5 stars out of 5. Yeah, I liked it. If you have a kid, they'll like it, probably. It was fun. It was entertaining. If you ever watch Scooby-Doo, you'll have fun watching with your kid. Or if you're like me, you'll have fun watching it alone in your room on a Friday night. Cut, dude. Hard cut.